not, soon you'll learn how your child did on the new Massachusetts student tests. Charged in one of the most disturbing crimes in recent memory, the second suspect in the Jeffrey Curley murder case prepares for trial, and new rules for anybody who wants to buy a gun.
Live from WHDH-TV Boston, this is 7 News at 11 on the news station.
Good evening again. Kate's not feeling well tonight. I'm Craig Stevens. It was another magic moment for the New England Patriots today. It had all the ingredients: Drew Bledsoe, Doug Flutie, and some last-second heroics, and we have night team coverage for you. Sean Hennessy is covering Doug Flutie's big return to Foxborough, but Gene Levanchi starts us off with Drew's shining moment. Gino.
All right, Craig, thank you very much. Who would have thought that the Patriots could top Monday night's win over the Miami Dolphins? Well, they did it tonight as they came from behind to beat Doug Flutie and the Buffalo Bills. Drew Bledsoe does it again, winning the game with a broken finger. Doesn't get much better than this. Trailing by 4 points, the Patriots throw a Hail Mary to the end zone with time running out, and they get a huge break. The Bills are called for interference. That gives the Patriots one play from the 1-yard line with no time on the clock. This is it. Drew Bledsoe, the play fake, lofts it to Ben Coates, and it's a touchdown. Patriots win. A broken-fingered Bledsoe with a second straight heroic effort in as many weeks. Patriots win 25-21, keeping the playoff hopes alive. After the game, Bledsoe talked about the play before the touchdown.
All the Hail Marys that I've thrown in my career, going back to 8th grade, I've never had anything good happen on one of them. I've probably thrown 6 interceptions on Hail Marys. Never had one of my guys catch the ball. This is the first time that anything positive has happened on a Hail Mary for me, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Boy, isn't that the truth? And all, Bledsoe threw for 246 yards and 3 touchdowns. His legend continues to grow. We'll have complete highlights and more reaction to the Patriots' dramatic win coming up a little later in sports. In the SportsCenter, Gene Levanchi, 7 News.
Okay, Gino, well, the comeback spoiled the return of local sports legend Doug Flutie. Night team coverage continues with Sean Hennessy live in Foxborough. Sean.
Well, Craig, for Pats fans, it doesn't get much better than this. The hometown team pulls off a thrilling win, and the hometown football icon and one of New England's most loved athletes has a huge day and nearly pulls off another come-from-behind win. For Doug Flutie, it was a bittersweet homecoming.
Well, the game was worth the price of admission, huh?
It certainly was. Wearing the colors of the opposing team for the first time in Foxborough Stadium, Doug Flutie, as usual, made things exciting in front of the fans who already knew what he could do. Doug, what did you think of the reception you got from the crowd?
Lukewarm. They're rooting for their hometown, and that's the way it is, and I understand that. And people were very receptive overall, and it was just a pleasant atmosphere to play football in. And
I wanted to see Flutie when I came. I've never seen him play really in real life.
And play he did, like he always has. The smallest man in the field scrambled out of the pocket and turned broken plays into big gains. In a record day for him, Flutie brought his team from behind with a go-ahead touchdown late in the fourth quarter, which wasn't surprising to those who had seen him do it so many times before.
I was scared to death. It was like Flutie's going to do it again.
After doing all he could, Flutie watched from the sideline, and when his team lost in the final play, he congratulated his friend Drew Bledsoe, then ran off on the losing end on this field for the first time in 11 games. Tough homecoming.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a great game. I thought I played well, played my heart out.
His wife couldn't be prouder.
To the general fan watching the game, I don't think it could have been any better than the way it turned out. The hometown team won, but Doug played extremely well.
Now, Doug said he enjoyed playing in front of the hometown crowd that already believed in him, and after his performance today, his legend only grows. Fans around here don't mind seeing that, just as long as it doesn't come at the expense of their Patriots. We're live in Foxborough Stadium. Sean Hennessy, 7 News, Night Team.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. A number of other stories we're following on the Night Team this evening, including a chase and crash that led to a bizarre accident. This tape from South Union Street in Lawrence tonight. Police were apparently trying to stop a car driven by 22-year-old Kimberly Webster of Londonderry, New Hampshire, when her car hit another one and then slammed into a storefront. A man inside the building was so shaken up he had to be taken to the hospital. Now, Webster and the other driver, 54-year-old James Smith of Newton, New Hampshire, are also in the hospital tonight. Well, come tomorrow, school superintendents will begin receiving scores from those statewide student tests. 4th, 8th, and 10th graders took the exams. The scores were low across the board. 10th grade students scored the worst. 26% of them failed the English portion of it. 34% failed in science, and half failed in math. The beginning of the year 2003, students will need to pass the exam to graduate from high school. New at 11 o'clock tonight, an Arlington woman will answer to charges of abusing her elderly mother. Police say 54-year-old Nancy Rita hit and then scalded her 85-year-old mother with hot water. Rita is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow. She faces charges of assault with intent to murder and assault and battery with a deadly weapon on someone over 60. Well, in just a few hours, jury selection will get underway in a case that has captured attention across the Bay State and the country. Tomorrow, the second suspect in the Jeffrey Curley murder trial goes on trial. The night team's Garvin Thomas with this preview.
What say you? Is the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Guilty as of what, ma'am?
Guilty of murder in the first degree.
One down, one to go. Such are the sentiments of the Curley family of Cambridge. It has been 14 months since their 10-year-old son Jeffrey left home and never returned. 14 months since his story captured the hearts of an entire state. Now another chapter in the story of this murder is set to open. Jury selection begins in the trial of Charles Janes.
2 men murdered him. 2 men tried their best to cover it up, but 2 men got caught.
It has been the contention of prosecutors all along that both Charles Janes and Sal Sakari are equally responsible for the kidnapping and murder of Jeffrey Curley. Sakari, the first to go on trial, was convicted earlier this month.
A pathetic, despicable person, but he did not commit murder in the first degree.
Sakari's failed defense? That Janes was the one who did the killing. It is expected that Janes will use a similar defense, that Sakari did it. Likely to be a key witness, Charlene Letourneau, Sal Sakari's former girlfriend, who took the stand in his trial and testified Sakari admitted to the killing.
You're on the phone telling me that you just killed somebody and you have no remorse. And he said, it's like a bowl of cereal to me. I could either eat it or walk away from it.
Regardless of any verdict, though, the Curley family can never walk away.
We've been robbed of watching Jeffrey grow, watching him play ball, graduating from school.
Probably the biggest difference between Sakari and the Janes trials will be the location. After the Sakari verdict, Janes' lawyer petitioned for a change of venue and got it. The Janes trial will start in Worcester, not in the Curley's hometown of Cambridge. Live in the newsroom, Garvin Thomas, 7 News 19.
Garvin, thanks. Well, so far anyway, it appears the holiday shopping frenzy has not measured up here in the Bay State. New numbers show across the country about people spent about 4.5% more on the day after Thanksgiving than they did last year. But here in Massachusetts, the number was less than 2%. Some Massachusetts merchants say they're optimistic shoppers are simply putting off purchases until later in the season. And this Sunday after the Thanksgiving holiday is proving what a lot of us expected it to be, and that is hectic. Millions of people are on the way home right now by bus, by train, by plane. Folks crowded in to make it back. At South Station, Amtrak used 4 MBTA trains for trips to New York. At the airport, additional flights today. But even with the extra crews, holiday travel is still a slow go.
I came in late. There was a lot of traffic on the highway, so missed my flight. Yeah.
Terminal's crazy. Traffic, passengers, everybody's going nuts.
AAA says travel in New England this week was up 3.4% from last year. 5 million motorists took to the roadways. Well, by now, authorities in Texas had hoped to collar an escaped inmate, but tonight, that killer is still on the run. That's just one of the stories making news across America tonight. Police are combing wooded areas for that death row escapee. Martin Garul is his name. He escaped a couple of days ago from his cell on death row in Huntsville, Texas. Investigators believe he has not slept or been able to eat since his escape, so they don't think he's been able to get very far. Gun buyers face new obstacles beginning tomorrow. Instant background checks begin for holiday gun buying and the opening of winter hunting season. As part of the Brady Law, the instant checks will cover the sale of all firearms. That replaces the voluntary checks on handguns by state and local police. Officials expect some problems, though, because the number of checks performed will double. Well, Americans are divided when it comes to Dr. Death. A new poll by CBS News shows 49% of those asked do not approve of Dr. Jack Kevorkian helping terminally ill people commit suicide. 43% of the flip side say they do. Kevorkian is charged with first-degree murder after giving a terminally ill patient a lethal injection. The TV program 60 Minutes aired tape of that very act, which led to his being charged. Still ahead on this Sunday evening, the latest on impeachment proceedings against the president. What are the magic words Republicans want to hear?
And look for some changes on the way for the next couple of days, but I think you'll like the temperatures. The complete forecast straight ahead.
It's one of the most impressive Christmas trees you'll find any place, and you know what? It's right here in Massachusetts. Also, a bug's life is apparently a rich one. The animated insects had quite the holiday weekend at the movie theater. Stay tuned.
Makes me a girl. Is that it, Flyboy? Huh? Yikes! She's a girl.
On now to the Clinton crisis. Republicans say the president has to come clean and admit he lied about the Monica Lewinsky scandal or face impeachment. But overall, Congress is divided on impeachment or censure. On the Sunday morning talk shows today, Republicans demanded a full admission from Mr. Clinton before considering a lesser punishment like censure. Democrats, however, warned that Congress must listen to the American people.
The informed will of the American people want an outcome that is short of impeachment, but that does severely rebuke the president.
This censure idea without an admission on the president's part is a political cop-out, and our legacy will be that we have made the president above the law.
President Clinton has the option of appearing before the House Judiciary Committee on December the 8th. If he chooses not to, he can still send a representative in his place. In medical news tonight, your health insurance provider may require you to call before going to the emergency room. But tonight, the feds are pushing to get people treated right away. Regulators are set to announce that a hospital cannot delay or deny care no matter what insurance companies say. It's an expansion of a 1986 patient dumping ban which prohibits hospitals from refusing to treat patients who cannot pay. Regulators say they're now seeing a rise in delays while hospitals check on insurance.
Now, 7 weather.
Good evening, everyone. Certainly a great holiday weekend. Temperatures up in the 50s with a decent dose of sunshine. It gets even better for the next couple of days as temperatures are headed up. 45 out there right now, up from 43 at 6 o'clock as the warmer weather starts to roll in. Winds are out of the east at 11. And look at the high temperatures across much of the eastern third of the country. Many record highs. Washington, 72. Chicago, 68. St. Louis, 73 degrees. Now, these readings are some 25 degrees above normal. For instance, the normal high temperature in Chicago should only be 43 degrees. Looks like some of this warm weather will start to roll in to our neck of the woods over the next couple of days. Now, our normal high temperature should be about 46 degrees. Tomorrow, well up into the 50s. Actually, much of this upcoming week, temperatures will be well into the 50s, close to 60 on Tuesday, and once again on Thursday, so well above normal. As I mentioned, this probably will continue into Friday, maybe Saturday and Sunday with no major rain or snowstorms in sight. So things are looking real nice as the temperatures will slowly begin to rise overnight tonight or hold just about steady. We have some clouds with the temperatures holding in the low and mid 40s, and those clouds will actually insulate the atmosphere overnight tonight. That's why I do expect the temperatures to probably hold just about steady. More clouds back to the west. Now, there could be a scattered sprinkle or maybe a touch of drizzle later on tonight and early tomorrow morning as we have this warm front laying off to the south of us. It looks like it will take its sweet time moving up across New England. Probably won't reach Boston, points off to the north, till later tomorrow. Because of that, temperatures will probably hold in the 50s. The real warmth will stay off to the south of us with the temperatures New York City southward into the nation's capital in the upper 60s and lower 70s. As I mentioned, temperatures will hold in the 50s, well above normal for the next couple of days before things might change by next weekend as all the warm weather stays off to the south of us. Let's check on the forecast now. Enjoy it because you know things will change as we move into December. Lots of clouds out there tonight, maybe some spotty drizzle or a shower later on tonight. 40 to 45 will just about do it with light winds. Now for tomorrow, a murky start with some clouds and maybe a sprinkle, then some developing sunshine. 53 southern New Hampshire, about 59 if we get lucky, close to 60 later in the day. Increasing clouds tomorrow night, maybe a shower late at night. Look at these low temperatures, 45, close to 50 for overnight lows. And as we move into Tuesday, 59, maybe 60 with partly sunny skies and just a little bit cooler if we can call 50s cool for Wednesday and Thursday. So a mild week is in store. I'll see you next weekend. Michelle Michaels is in bright and early tomorrow morning.
If you like what the Patriots did against the Dolphins last Monday night, you're going to love what they did against the Buffalo Bills. Today, we'll have all the highlights and reaction for you coming up in sports.
Plus, a Christmas tree that is bigger than the Rockefeller Center tree, even the White House tree, and it is right here in Massachusetts. We'll be back. Tonight in Andover, a Christmas tradition comes alive.
3, 2, 1.
There it is, the lighting of what may well be the tallest Christmas tree in the country. It's 100 feet tall. That is 20 feet taller than the tree at New York's Rockefeller Center, and it is twice the size of the tree at the Prudential Center.
Time for 7 Sports with Gene LaVanci.
Maybe Drew Bledsoe should have broken his finger in preseason. He seems to be doing his best work with a deformed digit. Bledsoe throwing for 3 touchdowns against the Bills today, 1 less than the number of good fingers on his right hand. Doug Flutie had the Bills in position to win, but Bledsoe outdoes his effort from Monday night as the Pats win it on the last play of the game. This is great stuff. Bledsoe showing early the broken finger would not slow him down. He got the start and was very effective. First, lofting one to Robert Edwards, 2 yards, 7-0 Patriots. Later in the second, Bledsoe dumps it to Derek Cullors. He takes it home, 12 yards for the touchdown, 14-0. Pats looking good and loving life. Bills put up a couple of field goals near the end of the half, and it was 14-6. Flutie helps the Bills back, fires over the middle, and look at Eric Moulds, the one-handed catch. Not only that, he keeps on motoring. Moulds goes 84 yards for the touchdown. All of a sudden, Pats lead it down to 14-12. We move to the fourth now. It's 17-15 when the Bills take their first lead. Flutie, a perfectly thrown ball to Andre Reed. Nice catch. Buffalo moves on top 21-17. Flutie throws for 339 yards. That is an NFL career high. Final seconds of the game. The Pats' last chance, a Hail Mary attempt. But watch number 20, Henry Jones pushes Terry Glenn. That's interference. So the Pats have one more play from the 1-yard line with no time left. And here it is. Bledsoe, the play fake to Ben Coates. Touchdown. There goes your ball game. Pats win. Pats win. Pats win. Everyone knew it was going to go to Coates. If Bledsoe still got it in there, he throws for 246 yards, 3 scores, way to work. But wait, what about that extra point? Well, the Bills don't come back on the field. So the Pats walk in for the 2-point conversion, much to the chagrin of those who took the Bills and the 3 points. Pats win it 25-21. What more do you want?
I don't know if I can take too many more of these. But it's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a lot of fun to win games that way. And 2 weeks in a row, it was kind of do or die, and we did it in dramatic fashions, and so that's fun. But you know, we still have to start playing better if we want to win out like we intend to.
We'll move on. We've lost before. We'll lose again someday. But you know. You just line it back up and strap it up, try to put it behind you, and it just irritates you that you could be sitting at 8-4 in a great position, and instead we're 7-5 and fighting uphill again.
Jets still have a share of first place in the AFC East. New York putting the wood to the Panthers today. Curtis Martin had a big day. Gets to the outside, then he'll cut it back. See you later. That's a 60-yard run to glory for Martin. The Jets move on top for good at 10-7. Curtis 110 yards on the day. Jets running it up big time. Here comes Keyshawn Johnson on the reverse. This goes for a 35-yard touchdown run. Jets lead it 19-7. They played well offensively. They played well defensively, too. Brian Cox sneaks in. He sacks Steve Berline in the end zone for the safety. What a day for the Jets. They romp to the 48-21 win over the Panthers. So the Patriots win. 3 of their final 4 are on the road starting next Sunday in Pittsburgh. Jets behind the big day from Curtis Martin beat Carolina. New York now 8-4. Miami with the win over New Orleans. Big day for Dan Marino. We'll tell you more about that in a second. Kansas City beats Arizona 34-24. You mentioned Marino and the Miami Dolphins. They hang on to a share of first place as well. Dan Marino, 3 touchdown passes against New Orleans, all of them going to O.J. McDuffie. This pass gives Marino a new milestone. It's career TD pass number 400. He's the first player in NFL history to hit the 400 mark. Dolphins are now 8-4 thanks to the 30-10 win over the New Orleans Saints. Other scores today, Jamal Anderson another big day as Atlanta improves to 10-2, clinches a playoff spot in the process with the win over St. Louis. Baltimore winners over Indianapolis today. It's Jacksonville beating Cincinnati. Mark Brunell 4 TD passes. Tampa Bay beats Chicago 31-17 your final in that one. Green Bay beats Philadelphia, though the Eagles played them pretty tough. Washington surprises Oakland. The Redskins win it 29-19. Seattle beats Tennessee on a last-second field goal. And late in the fourth quarter, Denver has the lead on San Diego tonight, 31-16. Coming up in just a few minutes on Sports Extra, we'll recap that wild Patriots win over the Bills in Foxborough, plus more on Doug Flutie's return to Greater Boston. Also, we'll chat with Nomar Garcia-Parra. He talks about the state of the Boston Red Sox. Plus, John Hanna and Fred Smirlis will take to the telestrator to have more analysis on today's Patriots game. Now, as mentioned, Nomar Garcia-Parra back in town. He was conducting a hitting clinic in Danvers today. Now, in spite of the changes with the Sox, Nomar is still very much the company man, refusing to rip the Red Sox for losing Mo Vaughn and then not replacing him, at least not at this point. But if Nomar did lash out, that would not be Nomar. He spent today instructing the kids at Strike One in Danvers, and they were hanging on his every word. Nomar will be forced to pick up the slack in the lineup and in the locker room as well. George Smith got a chance to ask Nomar about Mo Vaughn's departure.
Were you surprised that he left?
You know, I've been gone. I've been in Japan, so I didn't know what was going on. I kind of was escaped from the whole world, it seemed like, out there, you know, focusing on what I had to do. So I didn't really know what's going on, so I have to come back and find out. I think he was a role model for every player. I think guys, you know, as you get to the big leagues and you get all this stuff, and you are a role model to kids, but Mo's also a role model to players as well because of what he's done. I mean, you know, he's not only what he does on the field. Everybody knows, and you know, there's tremendous players out there, but what he does off the field.
More with Nomar coming up in Sports Extra. We'll cover today's Patriots win from every possible angle. That's coming up in Sports Extra as well. Hope you can stick around.
Insects, they may be small, but they're giants at the box office. You may be surprised how many people bought tickets for this one. First, though, tonight's lottery. Finally, they may be small in size, but they're generating giant numbers at the box office.
Do not panic! We are trained professionals!
The movie A Bug's Life marched into the record books over the weekend. The animated film broke box office sales for Thanksgiving weekend. It raked in $46.5 million. Slipping into second place, the Rugrats movie with $27.6 million. And rounding out the top three, the Will Smith's latest thriller, Enemy of the State, it took home $25.7 million. That'll be it for us tonight. Thanks for joining us. For Kate, who's nursing a cold, and everybody on the weekend crew, I'm Craig Stevens. Good night.
Is holiday tipping costing you a bundle? The babysitter, the hairdresser, the paperboy?
It's how you show your thanks and appreciation for what was done for you.
Where do you draw the line? How much and who to tip? 7 News reports Monday after Dateline.
With its four-wheel drive system,